the temperature of the air in a dryer is maintained constant by the use of steam coils within the dryer. The product enters the dryer at the rate of 1 metric ton per hour and dry weight of 250 kilograms. The initial moisture content is 3 kilogram moisture per kilogram of dry solid. Will be dried moisture content of 0.10 kilogram moisture per kilogram of dry solid. Air enters the dryer with a humidity ratio of 0.016 kilogram moisture per kilogram of dry air and leaves with a relative humidity of 100%. When the temperature remains constant at 60 degrees Celsius, if the total pressure of the air is 101.3 kilopascal, determine the capacity of the forced draft fan to handle this air in cubic meters per minute. So first list down lang natin yung mga given natin. So yung temperature 1, temperature 2 natin is constant at 60 degrees Celsius. Meron tayong relative humidity na 100%. Yung initial humidity ratio natin is 0.016 kilogram per kilogram moisture per kilogram of dry air. Yung total pressure natin is 101.3 kilopascal. Yung pressure natin at 60 degrees Celsius is equivalent to 19.94 kilopascal. Yung humidity ratio natin for the dry weight is 250 kilograms. Yung required natin ang hinahanap is the capacity of the fan in terms of cubic meters per minute. So ito yung diagram niya. Ito yung initial na conditions natin. So the first step to solve this would be solve the P1 using the formula HR or humidity ratio is equal to 0.622 P sub 1 divided by P sub T or yung P total natin minus P sub 1. So itong formula na to is standard na to. So kapag meron kayong mga reviewer for industrial plant engineering, ito na yung mga reviewer ng prime. So given na tong formula na to, derived na siya. So 0.016 kg moisture per kilogram of dry air is equal to 0.622 P sub 1 divided by 101.3 kilopascal minus P sub 1. So shift solve lang natin since isa na lang yung variable natin. Meron tayong pressure at 1 which is equal to 2.51 kilopascal. So next naman is-solve natin yung specific volume using yung formula. PT V1 is equal to RAT1. So 101.3 kilonewtons per square meter is the unit of kilopascal multiplied by specific volume is equal to 0.287 kilonewton meter or kilojoule divided by kilogram per Kelvin. So convert natin yung 60 degrees Celsius into Kelvin. So makukuha natin yung specific volume na 0.968 cubic meter per kilogram. So solving for P2 using the formula P2 is equal to the relative humidity multiplied by the pressure at 60 degrees Celsius. Since 100% yung humidity natin, so 1 lang yun times 19.94. So 19.94 pa rin yung P sub 2 natin. So solving for humidity ratio, same formula. However, ang hinahanap na natin dito is yung humidity ratio at 0.2. So substitute lang natin yung value, 0.622 multiplied by 19.94 kilopascal divided by 101.3 kilopascal subtracted to 19.94. Meron tayong 0.1524 kilogram of moisture per kilogram of dry air. So solving for the moisture content, itong formula, given din naman to. So, yung D sub 1 natin is equal to 0.10%. Ito yung hinahanap natin ito yung final moisture content natin per kilogram of dry solid. Since 1% yung moisture natin originally, so plus 0.10 lang tayo. So, yung moisture content natin is equivalent to 9.09%. So, solve for humidity ratio. Yung humidity ratio natin at 0.4 is equal to 0.0909 ng humidity ratio ng 0.4 plus yung humidity ratio natin for dry weight. So, since single lang, isa lang naman yung variable na hinahanap natin, shift solve lang natin, makukuha natin yung humidity ratio at 0.4 which is 275 kg of moisture per kilogram of dry air. So, using the mass balance equation, so energy in is equal to energy out or mass in or is equal to mass out. So M1 multiplied by HR1 plus HR3 is equal to M1 multiplied by HR2 plus HR4. So since hinahanap natin yung M1, so ano lang natin, transpose lang natin to sa kabila and then separate natin yung values. So, magkakaroon tayo ng 1,000 minus 275 divided by 0.1524 minus 0.016. So, ang lalabas sa atin ay 5315.25 kg per hour. So, to solve for the capacity of the pan, simple lang naman yung formula natin, which is mass multiplied by the specific volume. So, cancel yung kilogram natin kasi naka-specific volume tayo. So, kilogram din yun. So, cancel yung kilogram natin. And then, convert natin into minutes kasi ang required is cubic meters per minute. So, 5315.25 multiplied by 0.968 divided by 60 minutes or 60, that is equal to 85.75 cubic meter per minute. So, ito yung kailangan ng forced drop pan para ma-handle yung air para ma-dry or matanggal yung moisture doon sa ating substance. The next problem, we have wet material containing 215% moisture or dry basis is to be dried at the rate of 1.5 kg per second in a continuous dryer to give a product containing 5% moisture, wet basis. The drying medium consists of air heated to 373 Kelvin and containing water vapor equivalent to a partial pressure of 1.4 kilopascal. The air leaves the dryer at 310 Kelvin and 70% saturated. So, calculate how much air will be required to remove the moisture. So, first, list down natin yung mga given natin. So, meron tayong percent moisture content sa dry basis, which is 215%. Meron tayong moisture content for the wet basis, which is 5%. Yung flow rate natin, we have mass flow rate natin, we have 1.5 kg per second. Total pressure, 101.325 kilopascal. The pressure at point 1 is 1.4 kilopascal. So yung required natin is the mass of air in kilograms per second. So solve muna natin yung mass for the wet basis using the formula MdV divided by 1 plus percent ng moisture content ng dry basis is equal to 1 minus percent ng moisture content sa wet basis multiplied by the mass of wet basis. So substitute lang natin yung mga given nating values. 1.5 kg per second divided by 1 plus 2.15 is equal to 1 minus 0.05 multiplied by mass of the wet basis. So makukuha natin yung mass in terms of wet basis, which is 0.501 kg per second. So far the amount of moisture removed, so yung moisture removed lang naman natin is the dry basis minus yung wet basis natin. So 1.5 kg per second minus 0.501 kg per second, 0.999 kg per second. So for the humidity ratio using formula, so yung HR1 natin, same formula lang naman. So 0.622 multiplied by 1.4 kilopascal divided by 101.225 kilopascal minus 1.4 kilopascal. So we have 0.00871 kilogram of moisture per kilogram of dry air. So dito gagamit tayo ng psychrometric chart to find the humidity ratio. So we have the conditions of the dry bulb at 37 degrees Celsius and a relative humidity of 70%. So plot lang natin yun. Ito yung 37 natin, tapos itutama natin sa 70%. So ito. So drawing na tayo ng horizontal line dito. Ito yung humidity ratio natin. So ang gagamitin natin is 0.0287 kg of moisture per kilogram of dry air. So for the amount of air required to remove the moisture, so ang formula natin is the moisture removed divided by humidity ratio at 0.2 minus humidity ratio at 0.1. So 0.999 kg per second divided by 0.0288 kg of moisture per kilogram of dry air minus 0.0871. So lalabas yung sagot natin, which is mass of air is equal to 49.73 kg per second. So for problem number 3, 11,300 kilograms per hour of water enters a cooling tower at 45 degrees Celsius, atmospheric air at 16 degrees Celsius, and 50% relative humidity enters the tower at the rate of 10,200 cubic meters per hour and lives at 32 degrees Celsius and saturated. So determine the mass of water evaporated per hour during the cooling process. So ito yung given natin. Ito yung required na hinahanap, yung mass ng water in kilograms per hour. So gamit lang ulit tayo ng psychrometric chart at 16 degrees Celsius and 55% relative humidity. Ang kailangan natin dito is yung value ng humidity ratio at saka yung volume ng air. So again, using a psychrometric chart, ito naman yung condition natin, 32 degrees Celsius at 100% relative humidity. So use yung natin, psychrometric chart, makakuha natin yung humidity ratio, which is 0.0306 kg per kilogram. So for the mass of air entering the tower, we have mass of air is equal to the capacity of air divided by the specific volume of air. So 10,200 cubic meter per hour divided by 0.827 cubic meter per kilogram. So cancel yung cubic meter natin. So yung mass ng flow rate ng air is 12.337 per kilogram per hour. So yung hinahanap natin is yung evaporated air. So, mass ng air multiplied by the humidity ratio at 0.2 minus humidity ratio at 0.1. So, that is 12,333.74 kg per hour multiplied by 0.0306 minus 0.006. So, yung evaporated air natin is equal to 303.41 kilograms per hour.
Bert, excuse. Balik ka nga sa dating problem. Ano yung significance natin dyan sa yung sa dry air? Sa wet basis tsaka dry basis.
Sir. Yung dry basis kasi sir, ito yung hindi pa natatanggalan ng moisture. Kumbaga, ito pa yung marami pa yung moisture content niya. So, ito, yung 215% moisture. Kaya mas mabigat pa yung mass niya. So yung wet basis naman natin sir, yun yung percent na kailangan nating matanggal or yung kailangan matira. Kasi yun yung kailangan natin ma-achieve para mabawasan
yung target natin.
Yung target po natin. Kaya yung lumabas po na sagot natin dito is equivalent to 49.73 kg per second. So ito yung kailangan nating mass ng air para ma-reduce yung moisture doon sa target point natin. So, 49.73 kilogram per second ng air yung kailangan nating ibigay doon sa substance natin para ma-remove yung moisture na kailangan natin.
Okay. Para ma-achieve yung yung 5% na lang.
Opo, sir.
Okay. Sige.
So, next problem po is dryer is to deliver 1,000 kg per hour of palay with a final moisture content of 10%. The initial moisture content in the feed is 15% at atmospheric condition with 32 degrees Celsius dry bulb and 21 degrees Celsius wet bulb. The dryer is maintained at 45 degrees Celsius while the relative humidity of the hot humid air from the dryer is 80%. The steam pressure supplied to the heater is 2 megapascal. Determine the air supplied to the dryer in cubic meter per hour. So of course, list down ulit natin yung given natin. At the same time, yung required natin is the volume of air in terms of cubic meter per hour. So again, using the psychrometric chart, using the conditions of the dry bulb at 32 degrees Celsius and the wet bulb at 21 degrees Celsius, makukuha natin yung humidity ratio. So plot lang natin siya. So yung humidity ratio natin is equivalent to 0.011 kilogram of air per kilogram of moisture per kilogram of dry air. So again, using the psychrometric chart for the dry bulb temperature of 45 degrees Celsius and relative humidity of 80%. So, eto siya. I-plot lang natin. So, kukunin natin yung values for the humidity ratio, which is 0.052 kilograms per kilogram, and the specific volume of 0.976 cubic meter per kilogram. So, solving for the mass of the wet palay, we have the formula of mass of wet palay is equal to 1 minus the percent of moisture content multiplied by the mass of the dry palay divided by 1 minus the percent of moisture content of initial. So, yung final natin, gusto natin ma-achieve is 10%, so that is 0.1. multiplied by the mass of the dryer, 1,000 kilogram per hour, divided by the initial moisture content, which is 15%. So, yung mass ng wet palay natin is 10,058.82 kilogram per hour. So, we now solve for the moisture removed. So, yung wet palay natin, isusubtract lang natin sa dry palay natin. So, kung mapansin nyo, mas mabigat yung wet palay natin kasi may moisture siya. And then, yung dry palay natin is 1,000 kg na lang kasi tanggal na yung moisture. So, yung moisture na na-remove is 58.82 kilograms per hour. So, using the psychrometric values, so masasolve natin yung mass of air using the same formula kanina. Moisture removed divided by humidity ratio at 0.3 minus humidity ratio at 0.2 is equal to 58.82 kg per hour divided by 0.052 minus 0.011, that is equal to 1,434.63 kilograms per hour. Now, solving for the amount of air supplied to the dryer, we have the mass of air multiplied by the specific volume. So, 1,434.63 kilogram per hour multiplied by 0.976 cubic meter per kilogram. Cancel yung kilogram natin. So, ang matitirang sagot is 1,400.2 cubic meters per hour. So, itong volume ng air yung is yung required para ma-achieve natin yung 10% moisture content doon sa palay natin. So, for the last problem, we have copra enters a dryer containing 60% water and 40% of solids, and leaves with 5% water and 95% solids. Find the weight of water removed based on the each pound of original product. So, simple lang naman dito. Simple lang naman yung equation natin. So, let M equal to the weight of the original product in pounds of wet feed, and let the mass of product equal to 1 pound. So, the relation is the solid in wet feed is equal to the solid in dry feed. So, simple balance equation lang naman to. 0.95 daw yung mass ng solid ay ng wet feed natin, while sa solid dry feed natin is 0.40% for every 1 pound. So, kunin natin yung mass ng wet feed, which is equal to 0.42 pounds, and then solve for the amount of water removed. That is simply the weight of the water removed is equal to the mass ng product natin minus yung mass ng moisture natin. So, weight of the water removed is equal to 1 pound minus 0.42 pounds. So, yung weight na na-remove natin yung moisture na na-remove natin doon sa product natin is equivalent to 0.58 pounds. So, yun lang naman po, sir. Ito yung mga reference na ginamit ko namin.